What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol OPFI for Oppfi Inc. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, I should point out they gave us an earnings announcement after the bell today, so let's flip on the extended hour session and see what's going on with the number. So right out of the gates, I'm sure you could tell a fair bit of volatility. So a big green-bodied candle at one point in time, making its way up here at $8.60, but as of right now, fading back down into today's range. So currently sitting right at the high of day. Based on the nature of this pullback, though, it's sort of a 50-50 shot whether or not we remain on a gap up for tomorrow's session. So again, just noting that a lot can happen basically between now and 9:30. So I'd give it a 50-50 shot of whether or not it's a gap up and over 771, or if it's a sort of open inside of range underneath that level, basically the high of today's session, which, we were off by a penny. 772 is technically the level. So let's just throw that on the chart. We'll turn this back off. Actually, before we do so, let's just point out the overnight high way up there at 860. Now we'll turn this off and just talk in terms of scenarios. Okay, so notice here that it's not really going to be a very attractive long-sided trade unless there's big momentum off the open and we just hold on to this pivot here at 772, basically the high of the day. It's also our daily 50 SMA, the blue line on the chart. So if volume wants to remain strong, if we put in some sort of bull flag here, obviously the break of that takes us into 860 on the next leg higher, right? That would ultimately be the target. And note also, just play make pretend with me, extend this line to the left for a second. Notice how it's also prior resistance from in here, so it makes sense as an upside target at 860. Beyond that, I would start looking out for, I guess technically speaking, it would be either here or I could potentially see this level as well, 922, pointing out that it was resistance for these two wicks, then support here and here before ultimately leading to a breakdown of this most recent leg lower. So those are upside targets if we really get going and hold on to this 772. Do I really think we're going to make it up here? Not really. Probabilities would say it's likely not going to go there, but again, anything can always happen in the market. The market can always do whatever it wants to do. To the downside, if we fall underneath the pivot here at 772, just note, right, if we come on over to the trade tab, you're not actually going to short this. It's hard to borrow, and the volume here on the put side of things is absolutely pathetic. But instead, you're just going to avoid longs until maybe if we come into this support trend line. Let's go ahead and get that to click. There we go. Maybe if we come into that, it's a potential scalp buy. Probably wouldn't push my luck and look for, again, a full reversal out of it into those upper levels. But what you'll notice is we're kind of channeling here, right? You could also draw in an upper resistance trend line. If we could get another click on the platform, you get the point, right? Basically, what I would be drawing in with something like this, forming a bit of a channel. It's a little bit steep, so I wouldn't expect it to last forever. But again, noting that we have made a new higher high, we're at the 50 SMA, a pullback into it may be viable if we want to put in some sort of 30-minute structure that looks like a reversal. So it could just simply be a hammer candle down here, could look like an indecision doji, or it could be a full-fledged pattern, right? We could do something like this. There we go. We get some sort of neckline. Boom, the break takes us back higher. Could look like an inverted head and shoulders, fake break. Shoulder 2 back above. Break of that neckline takes us higher. Could look like a number of things on the pullback, but that's really what I'd watch out for. Maybe if it ties in with this breakout point here as well. Oops, let's grab the other tool. That would make it all the better. So that number is going to be at 726. So maybe that would help in terms of forming a super support there. Note that we had prior resistance, led to a bit of a breakout on today's session. So really, that's what I'm watching here in a nutshell inside of Oppfi. Potentially a pullback buy at the support trend line, or if we want to remain above the pivot here, we have upper targets, which we have mapped out. That's really going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.